All right. Hello, ESL 40, NC ESL 49. It's me, Emily. Welcome to the week of your midterm. I know you guys have been thinking of this for a little while, and so I want this review to be as clear as possible. So I'm going to go through the PowerPoint with you, which is listed on Canvas as well, and then I'm also going to go through how you should play a review game called Jeopardy! All right, so I'm really excited about this. Let me show you what's happening. All right, so this is our PowerPoint, our midterm PowerPoint. So we're going to discuss the midterm. We're going to review the three major topics that we covered for the first half of the semester, and then we're going to go through the game directions. So the midterm, what should you focus on? How can you prepare? And what will the test be like? Now, since I have to move this test to an online version of this test, it's going to be a little bit different from previous tests. So I'll talk about that when we get to that slide. So what are you guys going to focus on? So you're going to specifically focus on parts of speech. You guys know this, nouns, verbs, adjectives, all that kind of good stuff. You're then going to focus on sentence structure, compound sentences, complex sentences, and then there's the dreaded verb tenses. But I promise you, you're going to do great. Now, what are my suggestions for you? Review your notes and review your quizzes. If you don't have a quiz because you were absent or you've lost it, just email me and I can send you a copy of that quiz. Review your homework exercises. There's so much practice to be done on Canvas. Sorry, it almost is too much. And then make sure you study your non-progressive verbs and your irregular verbs. So remember that love cannot be made loving. You cannot say, I am loving this. You have to say, I love this. Same with irregular verbs. For example, fly, past tense is flew, past participle is flown. Now the test format, it's going to be, you're going to have to identify different things. So I'm going to give you a sentence and you have to decide, is this compound, is this complex? Fill in the verb tenses similar to your recent quiz. There's going to be some corrections, and then I'm hoping that we can create some original sentences. I need to figure out how that's going to work. If you have any questions, send me an email or message and I'm happy to get back to you. I want you to feel really confident going into your midterm exam. So let's talk about the parts of speech. There are 8, but there is a 9th one called interjections. We didn't cover them, so don't worry about interjections. Now, what are the 8 parts of speech? Now, what I want you to do is pause this video and write down the 8 parts of speech in your notes. Write down their names and write down an example and write down what it means. Okay, so for example, you could write down noun, then description of the noun is a person, place, thing, idea, and an example could be Miracosta or Emily or chair or juice. Okay, so pause this video and do that exercise. Okay, so you're back from doing your parts of speech exercise. Let's double check your work. So remember, we're not worrying about interjections. So I'm actually going to put my face over this one. Okay, now double check all of your work with these other interjections. We have noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction. What are we missing? We should have 8 here. I know we have interjection, but we should have 8. So we have noun, we have pronoun. Oh, we're missing articles. Okay, so double check in your notes and make sure you wrote articles. I don't know why this is not on this list actually. So articles are the small words before nouns that show specificity, generalization, or amount. An example could be a, an, or the. Double check the rest. Pause this video if you need to. Okay. So I'm assuming you double checked your work. Let's move on to sentences. Now, in your notes again, please write down the types of sentences and explanations and examples. For example, I could write simple sentence. The explanation or description of a simple sentence is, an independent clause that has a subject, at least a subject, a verb, and a predicate. An example of that is, my husband and I love to go hiking with my dog. Love is the main verb there. So pause this video and go through all of the rest, write down the rest of the sentences, describe them, and then give an example. Okay, so I'm assuming that you paused the video and then you went through it. So let's continue. A simple sentence, let me move this little box. A simple sentence has one verb, one subject at least, and it's called an independent clause. For example, the dog looked out the window. A compound sentence has two independent clauses separated in the middle by coordinating conjunctions. The comma comes before the fanboys. So for example, John looked out the window, comma, but is our fanboy. His car was nowhere in sight. Uh-oh. For a complex sentence, we have one independent clause and one dependent clause. Now, our dependent clause is started with something called a subordinating conjunction. So let's take a look. The dog looked out the window as he was waiting for John's car to pull up the driveway. As is our subordinating conjunction here. This means that this clause before the subordinating conjunction is an independent clause. The clause that comes after it is a dependent clause. Okay, so as separates it. We can also flip this. We could say, as he was waiting for John's car to pull up the driveway, comma, the dog looked out the window. Remember, if you start with an independent clause, you do not need a comma. If you start with a dependent clause, you do need a comma. Okay? All right, last type of sentence, our compound complex sentence. It has at least one dependent clause, at least two independent clauses, and includes subordinating conjunctions and coordinating conjunctions. Phew. So we have the dog looked out the window as if he was waiting for John's car to pull up in the driveway, comma, but his car was nowhere in sight. So both of these are conjunctions. This one is the subordinating conjunction. This one is the coordinating conjunction. So we know this first part is an independent clause because it can stand by itself. This middle clause before the comma is a dependent clause because it cannot exist on its own. And last but not least, his car was nowhere in sight is a dependent clause. It can exist on its own. Okay, we're moving into verbs. We want to make sure we know what their names are, what they look like. Mechanics is another word for form, and also when are they used. So we want to double check this. Now we have three different tenses, present, past, and future, and then we have what are called aspects. You don't really need to know this word right now, but we just want to make sure we understand what they're called. In our class, we've been calling them progressive instead of continuous, but both are okay. So we can have present simple, present progressive, present perfect progressive. So 3 times 4 is 12. So we actually have 12 total verb tenses. This is where they are. So you can see this chart. This is how they're formed, okay? I found this by going on Google Images and typing in English verb tense form, and this chart came up. So you guys can take a pause here, check it out, look at all the different formations, all the examples, and hopefully you won't be too hungry because all of this is about pizza. And this is the usage, okay? So this usage actually is a little bit different than what we've been, the wording of this usage is a little bit different than what we've been practicing. So of course, definitely check this out, but I would suggest using the worksheets that we've been creating in class to memorize the usages, okay? If this is too confusing, skip this slide. I just wanted to kind of show you how it's organized. Okay, so we've reviewed the 3 topics that your midterm is going to cover, and now I want you to have some fun, okay? Some fun in grammar class. Now, usually we play this in class, but you can also play this on your own outside of class. Now, let me show you exactly what we're going to do. Okay, so we are going to go to this URL. So we're going to copy it if we can. Okay, and now I'm going to go to a new page. So I click in, and I have a lot of different options. Wow, what do I do? So I'm going to look back on our PowerPoint, and it says, okay, go to the link above, check. Click play now. All right, so I'm going to click play now. How many teams? Since I'm playing by myself, I'm going to pick one team. But if you've decided to ask a friend or a family member to play with you, who's with you, you can make a bunch of different teams, okay? So I'm going to click one team because I'm going to play by myself. Do you want to play in buzzer mode? No, because that would mean updating and probably paying for something, so we're not going to play in buzzer mode. No. Okay, this is fun. We get to pick the team captain. So you get to pick somebody who represents you. Let's see. Oh, cute. I'm going to pick the banana. And then it says how to play. And these are the directions, but it's pretty self-explanatory, and I'm going to explain it to you. So we're just going to press start game. And all of the directions are right here as well. So in case you get lost while doing that, you can go back to the PowerPoint. Awesome. So it's just like Jeopardy. You have 5 different categories: parts of speech, sentence structure, simple and progressive verb tenses, perfect and perfect progressive tenses, and facts about Emily. Yeah. So you get to choose whichever one you want to start with. So for example, maybe I want to start with sentence structure for 300. It says, please write a compound sentence using nor. Okay, so that means you have to do this on your own paper. So you can either do it in your own notes, or you could open up Grammarly, like we talked about in a previous video. I'm gonna do new. And we say, okay, a compound sentence using nor. All right, so I could say, I do not like pizza, nor do I like cheeseburgers. It says impolite or too direct language. That's fine. We're that's really funny. It's grammatically okay. It says it's looking good, it's clear. So we're not going to worry about this. Okay. If you messed it up, I think that it's going to tell you that it's wrong. So I do not like pizza. Nor do I like cheeseburgers. Okay. So Grammarly is having a little bit of a problem because this is not correct. Okay, so just type it in. I don't know, maybe it just wants me to sign up for premium, but let's see. Anyway, so since it wants us to sign up for premium, we're not going to, but we want to look, even if it's incorrect, we can then look at the answer. So up here on the right hand, it says skip or see answer. So I can flip it. I don't like apples, nor do I like bananas. And I can compare. I do not like pizza. Oh, I have to delete it, right? Nor do I like cheeseburgers. So you can self-correct that, okay? So you got it. So if you got it correct, you get to give yourself 300 points. Ding, ding, ding. If you did not get it correct, you have to minus 300 points. 1, 2, 3, ding, ding, ding. So you can go through the rest of these. Now, this will take a long time, so don't feel like you have to go through all of it. This should be a fun, interactive way to study for your midterm. Okay, you guys. Well, I hope you're having a good time and you're not too stressed about your midterm. I know that you guys are going to do a really great job. Just take your time studying, and if you have any questions, please let me know. All right, good luck, and I will talk to you soon. If I can figure out how to end this. Okay, goodbye.